if black even makes one little mistake, this could get out of hand. All right, so d4, d5, and here he's playing Duras, who was a good player of this time period. Rubenstein playing the white pieces. Duras playing a very aggressive opening, similar to what Rubenstein did in his last game against Kohn. Pawn e3, solid. Rubenstein doesn't want to do anything. And this is actually a reversed opening, basically. It's a reverse Queen's Gambit accepted. And, well, basically, Queen a5 check. I don't like Queen a5. I think e6 is the better option, trying to recover the pawn with your bishop, and developing a piece. Queen a5 only helps white develop, and white wasn't really planning on keeping the pawn. So I really like what Rubenstein does here, and I'm only showing you this game. The next two games, if we get to them, the next two games are beautiful endgames against Schlechter and Lasker. But this game, I wanted to show you that basically his play to me is so beautifully, I don't know, clean. It just makes sense to me. All right, so a3 I like, and then c4. So basically what we have in this situation is black has gotten the pawn back, but is behind in development. And you're like, yes, but is it even really that detrimental to the position? Not immediately, but if black even makes one little mistake, this could get out of hand if his king remains in the middle. So takes, and so you look at this situation. We'll breeze through what appear to be pretty logical moves. And except for that one, so we're gonna stop there. So up to this point, I really like white's position. White's got extra pieces developed, very good play in the center. The rook is about to come to the c file, pressuring down the c file. White has the initiative here because white's a little bit more developed. White still has to play moves like bishop to e2 and castle, but those are coming. Now, remember how I said black can't really afford to make even the smallest mistake? Well, he asks for trouble with the move pawn to b5. Welcome the bone collector. Awesome. So he asks for it with this move pawn to b5. I said black was treading carefully because he was behind in development. His king was stuck in the center. Okay. What did Rubenstein play here? Which is a nasty little move. This move, it costs you time, right? Like, for example, if I play the move knight to d2, my bishop's attacking your pawn on b5. So even if I have to retreat, you're only helping me coordinate. You weaken your knight's protection. And you also are going to give me a tempo here. But it's worse than that, actually. It's worse than that. Knight on c to e5. A brutal move. This is really a great move because it does a lot of things. It attacks this pawn. And originally, I bet Duras thought, well, there's a pin here, so this doesn't work for you. Because even though you've got your bishop and your knight on it, this knight is in a pin. Right? But here's the catch. Well, first of all, if you don't take this knight, then bishop takes b5 is threatened, but maybe even more importantly, rook to c1, attacking down the c file, is going to be even worse. And again, b5 was such a weak move, it loosens so many different things. The pawn itself is weak, but also the pawn used to guard the knight, so now the knight in the c file becomes even worse, right? The pressure becomes even worse along the c file. So knight takes is what happened, and then knight takes, which is the whole point of Rubenstein's play here. Giving away the queen only temporarily, though. Very beautiful line of play here. So, well, I'm still threatening this. I'm now threatening this. So if you don't take my queen, you're in some hot water. So, okay, Duras took the queen. Okay. Bishop takes b5 check, the whole point. And so the issue here is very bad. Okay? This is nasty. In the game, Duras played the best defense, but the worst defenses are more beautiful. So we'll look at those. So he did play knight to d7, giving the queen back. And when the smoke clears, white's up a pawn. So we will come back to this position because that's the game. But let's look at some of the beautiful lines of play here. So what about king to d8? Not giving the queen back. So, okay. We take. Right? We take. And let's say the king goes to c8 because you want white to give you at least the rook if you can get a rook for the queen. But there's something even better here. Check. Yep. So far, so good. King to b8. And now you guys are really going to like this finish. I want you guys to solve it. It's checkmate. Forced checkmate. Oh, yeah, you guys got it. I see the right move. Yes, puzzles and puzzles. Very good. Awesome. Not knight to d7 because you don't want that knight coming back. Yes, it's knight to c6. A beautiful clearance move. It's a decoy, it's a clearance, it's everything you could ever dream of. Basically, the idea is, you take my knight, so like your queen's guarding d8. So you take my knight, that opens up this diagonal to your king. So I hit you with this check. Right? You have to block, if you block on c7, then rook d8 checkmate. Because of the pin. But, the most beautiful line in this whole affair, okay, the most beautiful line in this whole affair is this one. Let's say queen d6 happens. Pinning, I want you to find the best move here, and this is stunning. This is so nice. I hope you guys can appreciate it. Not rook takes d6, because after pawn takes, the bishop covers d6. It's a quiet move. You guys found it. Not rook takes queen. This is so nice. Rook c1. Absolutely gorgeous. I challenge you to stop rook c8 checkmate. You cannot do it, so don't even try. Rubenstein is such a monster. This didn't happen in the game, but this is so nice. Yeah. And again, I mean, basically, yeah, if you take my bishop, this is checkmate, the whole idea. And basically, your king is in a mating neck. Knight to d7 was the best option, which is what happened in the game. And white wins the queen back with interest because white has won a pawn and remains more developed. But it's still very beautiful to see how Rubenstein finishes the game here. So bishop goes back to h5. Now keep in mind, this is still in danger. So knight to e5. Yeah, Gen Z says, what, such a brilliant combination, and then you still have to win the game because you're only a pawn up. You see? That's chess right there. You play brilliantly, you calculate some 10, 12 move force line, and the best defense for your opponent gives you a pawn up game. You know, the other, if they don't defend properly, then you win the game by a beautiful checkmate. But if they do, you had to figure all that stuff out, and then in the end, you only find yourself up a pawn. However, as with most chess tactical positions where you hit somebody with a 2-piece or a 10-piece, the thing is, black's position is so bad here because it's not only that he's down a pawn, he has no development, and white has the ease of play, can easily get to these open lines. So let's see what happens. Rook c8. I like the move pawn to g4. By the way, if black didn't play rook c8, white was going to play rook c1. So rook c8, g4 I like because you win, you get that bishop out of the way. And now I really like what Rubenstein does here. He does not let Duras a chance. He does not give Duras a chance to get back in the game. Every move is some sort of momentum gaining move, tempo gaining move. And you can see that that's very important because you don't want black to get developed. So he starts with the move bishop to d4, which I like. You attack in this pawn. They can't give you that pawn because then you get two connected passed pawns. So, okay. So pawn to a6. King to d2 I like because what he wants to do is he wants to get on the c-file. So he's connecting his rooks, leaving his king in the middle, which is a good thing in the endgame. We saw that in the first game today. Okay, pawn to f6, rook c1 again. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get in that position before black can get developed. e5, bishop to c5. Just every move is a good move. Okay, every move pushes the issue. Takes, and then king e2. And then what's beautiful about this is black can't guard this pawn. So white's going to win this pawn, and white's going to have two connected passed pawns, and white's going to win. So that's what happens. And black has only one pawn, and he has no passed pawns. And so I like how Rubenstein finishes the game here, albeit not too difficult. Okay, so check is the next move, followed by promotion. And you can't step up to the 7th rank because I promote and it's with check, so you lose. So this was just, but no matter what, so many roads lead to Athens here, so there's no real reason to look at that part too heavily. Once white gets two connected passed pawns, and you know, once they get two connected passed pawns and black doesn't have any passed pawns, that's not good. In an endgame is all about the creation and the promotion of a passed pawn. Hi, I'm Peter Giannatos, founder of the Charlotte Chess Center. If you enjoyed these videos, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you'd like to watch these videos live, be sure to follow us on Twitch.